Finally, oh my goodness, it took us 3 videos to get to this point. It's the third one in the series. The series about how programming is actually pretty simple.
And so let's get right into it, and I do promise that by the end of this video you will understand this code, because it just so happens that computers are really simple things. And I know it sounds like a meme at this point, like a channel meme, but I do mean it. The basic components of computers are extremely simple. That's how they achieve the speed. But for now, let's first look at the code, and oh boy, it is weird, right? I mean, there are lots of different characters, especially on this line. There's lots of and, there's the star, then we're multiplying, because the star means multiplication on the right, then we're multiplying letters by numbers. What's going on there? Now, as may seem, the most convenient way to explain this is to actually show you what happens inside our memory. So let's imagine 5 bytes, or 5 8-digit long binary numbers, or just numbers from 0 to 255. Now, just like our program, let's set them to the appropriate value. And considering that binary numbers really often get confusing, above our bytes I'll add some normal decimal numbers, and below them I'll add their ASCII representation. And you should know what that means if you watched the first video. Now let's go through the code step by step. On the first line we are changing the 0th character to 77, which would look something like this. Then we are changing the first character, don't mind the start from 0 count, I'll make a video about that soon, to 65. And then, well, then what the f is this? Now we should take it step by step, so let's just start with the first half. Let's build it step by step. First, start the string. The string variable are those 5 bytes we have over here, or rather the beginning of them, because then what we do is we offset it by 2, which means this second byte. Now when we offset things in such way, then we are talking no longer about the byte, but about the value. So now make the video in which I'll explain the difference. Now, in order to talk about the byte again, we have to add the end on the beginning, and then what we do is we add the short star, which basically means that we treat it as a short. Short is a different type of value which has 2 bytes, not 1. Now we're still talking about the byte, but we want to talk about the value, so all we have to do is just add the star on the beginning. And I know this was a lot, but you don't have to remember that. I just wanted to add that in case anyone was curious. All you have to remember is this big long thing means the value inside the 3rd and 4th byte combined together, or just a 16-digit long binary number combined from these 2 bytes. Now that's all you have to remember, and the fact that there is a logic to it. There is a reason why those characters are there. It's not random, it's kind of like mathematical equations, where the more things you add together, the more complex the meaning gets. Kind of like me building up my boat fender equation. Now all we have to do is just assign to this 2-byte long variable the equation, which after you exchange all the numbers is just equal to 26,955, which in binary would look like this. But then when we're displaying things in ASCII, it's impossible to display 2 bytes as a single character. And because of that, we are basically dividing those characters into 2 again. And what we get is K and I.